Welcome to the Business Funding Mastery Studio. My name is Leo Cannell, the business financeologist, and today we will be doing some important focusing on what we face as entrepreneurs and business owners on a daily basis in terms of how our ultimate desires can make or break our success. And we're going to look at three different keys that we can focus on as business owners, entrepreneurs, and maybe some other titles and hats that we wear in our life, from fathers and mothers and parents and brothers and sisters and wives and husbands, and what we can do to be more successful in accomplishing our ultimate desires. And before we go into those three keys, I just want to talk a little bit about how this ultimate desire thing works. For example, one of my mentors that I follow quite a bit, Mr. Grant Cardone, he has a goal that he's going to own, $500 million in apartment buildings. He's going to have a net worth of $100 million. And so with that as sort of his ultimate back goal, he is constantly making decisions based off of what it's going to take to accomplish that goal. So every decision that he makes throughout the day kind of leads him back to, well, am I getting closer to that end goal, that big lifetime goal he has, with my daily decisions, with what I'm doing with my business now, what I'm doing with my investment decisions, what I'm doing with everything in his life. He has that in the back of his mind. Another mentor that I follow quite a bit, Mr. Gary Vee, he has a goal that he wants to buy the New York Jets. Now, if you want to buy the New York Jets, we all know the cost of sports teams is just going up every single year, and you're going to need hundreds of millions of dollars, if not a net worth of a couple $billion, to have the potential and the wherewithal to be able to make a dream like that happen. And so again, his decisions on a daily, monthly, yearly basis go back to that ultimate desire. So it's really important to define what is your ultimate desire, your ultimate end game, and maybe it's not even business related. Maybe it is to be able to spend half of your time spending more time with your family. And so if that's your ultimate goal and desire, well, what sort of monthly cash flow are you going to need to make that happen? What sort of time management and systems and processes and what is your team going to need to be able to do, in your business to make those things happen? Because if you don't have that ultimate desire and end goal in mind, it's not going to happen. So just a very important thing, define your ultimate end goal desire, and it's got to be something big, right? We've all been taught, oh, make sure your goals are nice and realistic. No, you need to have really high echelon goals that are going to excite you every day. Otherwise, if you just have regular, realistic goals that we've all been taught to go for, then you're going to at some point basically not achieve those and be frustrated, and you lose interest when it's not a really exciting goal. Note that those guys have big, huge, giant goals that keep them excited on a daily basis. So obviously we've been talking a lot about those ultimate desires that push us. Well, to get there, and this sounds simple, but it's not. And I guarantee you, let me just ask you something. When was the last time you wrote down your goals? And you wrote them down and you were going to review them all the time. Now, we kind of all do that at the beginning of every year in January. We get our New Year's resolutions. We're going to go to the gym. We're going to make more money, spend more time with our family, be more successful. But then we kind of lose track of them. And the most successful people write down their goals daily. Every single day, they write down those goals. They get out of bed. They write those goals down in the morning. And something incredible happens when you do that. When you write your goals down and you focus on them, the first thing, maybe you're meditating, maybe it's during breakfast, maybe it's after or before you work out in the morning, which I definitely recommend that morning workout. That helps to get your mind right as a successful, high-performing person. But you've got to write down those goals and look at them daily, often, sometimes multiple times in a day, because it's so easy to get off track if you don't. Successful people, just so many of them that I've read, they write down their goals daily. Now again, this is stuff that the most successful people do. I'm not saying I'm there, but I'm hoping to get there. And the people that I've studied that are there, that's what they do. Okay, the second thing is control and focus your thoughts. In the day, during the week, throughout life, we come across problems, we come across issues, challenges, adversity. Might be health, might be financial, it might be family, it might be just the latest challenge that pops up. And so it's really easy to get lost in those challenges and that cloud of despair and continue to focus on that And while you've got to resolve those problems and deal with them for sure, you don't want to spend very much time in them. And it's amazing if you'll just be self-aware and realize, I'm stuck in this problem and focusing on it instead of moving on to the solution, moving on to the next project, and just letting that failure go, you're going to accomplish a lot more. You're going to move on and progress. One of the most successful entrepreneurs of all time, a man by the name of Sam Walton, that we all know that started Walmart, one of the things people used to say about him is he moved on from failure so quickly. I mean, failure would happen. You know, his first store got taken away from him because the landlord wanted to give the store to his son. So he literally kicked Sam Walton out of his store. Sam has to sell all of his inventory and find a new location in a new city and move his family after he built the entire store up because of that little loophole in the lease agreement that he had. But he was on. He did not dwell on that. He was so good at moving on from failure, and that's why he ultimately succeeded at such a grand level. So in order to succeed and get through adversity, you have to move on quickly. You have to take that bad experience, put it in a compartment, throw it in the ocean where it can sink and go away, and move on to the next project. And that's what successful people do. And the third and last, maybe one of the most important factors, keys that leads you to success and to your ultimate desires coming to fruition, managing your time. In today's electronic world, it is so easy to get lost. It's so easy to get lost on a little tangent on Facebook, on YouTube. It's so easy to get lost, binge watching your favorite TV show, The Walking Dead, one of my favorites, right? But if you look at how much people are so famous saying, I don't have time. You know what, Leo, I'd like to do that. I'd like to get this business going. I just don't have the time to do it. And you know what? I guarantee you there are hours upon hours being wasted every week in front of the TV, in front of, doing your favorite hobby. Forget about working on your golf game. Why don't you work on your family? Why don't you work on your business, on that idea, so you can quit your job, so you can be successful? Whatever the case is, we all have a lot more time than we have. I realized in my own life, as I looked back over the last decade, I've wasted countless hours watching sports. I love football. I love sports in general. And as much as I love those things, they weren't helping me get anywhere near closer to my goals. And so as I started to take that out, and instead of watching my favorite sporting event or show at night, I started to do a lot more reading. I started to do a lot more pondering and learn new skills. And by doing that, managing my time better, it's led to increased levels of productivity and success. And I've learned more in the last year than I have probably in the last decade because I managed my time so much better. I went to a seminar recently, and I was in this group, and a guy's like, yeah, I watch an hour of TV every week, and I'm accomplishing so much more because of it. And it's the same thing with our kids. I mean, our kids, it's not that it's bad for them to be on their technological stuff because you want them to be involved and learn technology, but when they're wasting hours upon hours playing games and TV shows and stuff like that, they waste a lot of time that they could be using to fulfill their passions and skills and so forth. So it's the same for us. We got to set the example for our kids. And so those are the three keys. Writing down your goals daily, controlling and focusing your thoughts to get through adversity, and then managing your time wisely. You do those three things, and ultimately that will help you, get back to where you want to be, your ultimate desires, your ultimate goals, and that's what it takes to be successful. So do those three things this week. Think about it. Write your goals down daily. Have a prosperous week, and we'll see you next time.